Alrighty then, everybody. Here we are, back to doing some more creepypasta readings because I'm a cancel my Zelda Let's Play. Anthony's trying to talk to me. Hold up. Yes, Anthony. What happened? What happened? Are you gonna talk or not? Alright, I'm going back to recording. As you guys heard, he wasn't saying anything. So here I am. I want to cancel Zelda because it's an overrated game. I mean, not overrated. It's a really good game and all, but it's been overdone. Seems pretty redundant. I'd rather do like more other games like Mega Man or Kirby or something like that. If someone actually enjoyed it, I'm terribly sorry, but I don't really want to do it. So I am here doing some Pokemon things. I don't know which one to read. Stupid Pokemon. It seems like a troll pasta, but darn! It's been deleted. That sucks. I had a really old Pokemon game. Uh, what went wrong? Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Poison Purple. Hey, look at that, it actually worked. Picture right here. And so, as I've done on the theory reading, I will read this my first time and, yeah, because this is random, I just rounded. This wasn't fair. I had been playing my brother's old Pokemon Yellow game, he never used it anyway, for a couple hours now, and I had gotten farther than any of you would have expected in such a short period of time. I had turned off the Game Boy Color when I went to go eat dinner, so that I wouldn't waste the battery. After devouring a whole plate of mac and cheese, I ran back to the sofa, jumped down on it, and picked up my Game Boy Color again. I flicked the power button, and the normal Pikachu intro came on. After pressing start, I was given the two options: New Game and Options. Wow, this has actually happened to me before. It pissed me off, actually. I didn't know what to do. I was mad. I was mad, bro, as the meme would go. And the overused meme would go, yes. It sucked. And yeah, I found a way to do it, but I had to, like, keep my SP on the whole time, like, never turning it off. I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but hell, I did it. I can't tell if really I don't remember what happened. I think one day it turned off and I don't freaking know anymore. This had infuriated me. I had saved my game when I turned it off, so why didn't I have the option continue? I sighed. I sighed. My brother had owned this game for years. It was probably too worn out to even keep a saved game alive anymore. Grumpy that all of my hard work had been a waste, I went to go ask my brother if I could sell his yellow version and buy a new one, since he never used it. He didn't mind and said yes. I went to GameStop and went to have a look around at the other Pokemon games for sale. Something caught Something that caught my eye immediately was Leaf Green version. I had a Game Boy Advance at home, but no games for it yet. Leaf Green would be perfect. Hold up, that was weird. Just because I didn't move my mouse. Scroll down a little bit. I quickly sold yellow version for Leaf Green and took it back home. Do they really sell Pokemon games anymore at GameStop other than like the new ones like Diamond and Pearl? All those past 4th gen, do they sell any more SPs, Game Boy Advance? Wouldn't imagine so, but Excited, I inserted the cartridge into my Game Boy Advance and started it up. Everything started out normal at first, but when the title screen appeared, it was a bit shocked. Instead of leaf green, it said poisoned purple. What in the world? I thought. As far as I knew, there was no such game as poison purple. Where the Venusaur should have been, there was just an empty space, and instead of the rusty colored background, the background was a deep purple color. Let me guess, ROM hack. I'm calling it right now. I was quite puzzled, but I decided to just start the game and ignore the unusual title screen. I started up a new game, as there was no saved game already, and clicked past Professor Oak's long Pokemon speech for a moment there. No, wait. And clicked past Professor Oak's long Pokemon speech. Okay, there we go. That was a period, not a comma. For a moment there, I could have sworn he sent out an Arbok, which I thought was strange. As far as I knew, I didn't think that he was supposed to send out an Arbok, but whatever. It didn't matter. I was probably just mistaken anyway, since I was speeding past the text so quickly. After choosing my gender, typing in my name, and naming my rival, the real game started. My heart thumped with excitement. My sprite was in her room, which was the same as every other Pokemon game, her. I didn't know there was a different gender in Pokemon Leaf Green. Oh well. I walked downstairs and out of my character's house. I already knew that Professor Oak wouldn't be in his lab. Leaf Green was similar to Yellow version, so I already knew that I would have to try and walk in the tall grass for Professor Oak to appear in the game and stop me. Obviously, just like any other Pokemon Yellow. I made my way over to the patch of grass, but I was quite surprised with what happened next. Instead of Professor Oak running over to stop me, I was perfectly able to walk through the grass. To be honest, it kind of freaked me out, as I knew this was not supposed to happen in any other Pokemon game. At the same time, though, it was kind of cool that I could walk through the grass with no Pokemon. I decided to keep walking back and forth in it until I encountered a wild Pokemon, just to see what would happen. After walking for no more than 5 seconds, the battle theme began to play. I grinned, excited about what would happen, and what Pokemon would appear. I had a feeling it would just be something common like a Pidgey or a Rattata, but to my surprise, it was an Ekans. Snake backwards. Lol 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 lol. I need a drink, man. Hold up. I will be back in like a minute, and for you guys it'll be like a second. So I will be back. I will go get some water, and yes. Alright, and we're back. Just chugged down like 3/4 of a water bottle. I'm sure my friends would know about how I drink water. Alright, let's keep going. This is a pretty long one, is it? Yeah, this looks pretty long. Looks like this will be a whole freaking... This will be a whole video. Let's see. So last time, let me see. We went into the grass and found an Ekans. Huh. That's funny. I didn't know Ekans appeared in the wild this early in the game, and I thought they were exclusive to Fire Red. Oh well. As soon as the text, Anthony's trying to talk to me. Sure you guys all heard him? Yes, Anthony? What? Wow. Each and every single time you go away when I try to talk to you. Face hoof. Fine then, I'll be back. I'll be recording. Alright, hopefully nothing bad will go wrong again. Alright, let's do that again. As soon as the text, "A wild Ekans has appeared," was gone, I saw my trainer's sprite in the battle scene. That was normally where a Pokemon sprite would be, but since I had no Pokemon, did that mean... Slash had to fight The Ekans? I had to fight the Ekans. I pressed fight, but another box of text appeared saying you cannot fight. God. Yes. Yes. Yes, Anthony. I bet you his mic volume is down. Can you fucking hear me? No, you're just bullshitting me, are you? Your mic volume is down, ain't it? So you can't hear me. Oh, go back to recording. Frustrated, I pressed bag instead and was shocked to see that I already had 10 Pokeballs with me. I threw one at the Ekans, hoping I would catch it. I had no way of weakening it, at least not that I knew of. But it was only level 3, surely it would stay in the Pokeball. Just just as I had guessed, the Pokeball wiggled 3 times and Ekans was caught. Would you like to give the nickname Would you like to give a nickname to the caught Ekans? I was asked by the game. I selected yes and named it Toxic. After that, I checked its summary. It was a male, level 3, as mentioned before, and it knew the moves Poison Sting, Wrap, and Bite. Its nature was naughty. Pleased with my new Pokemon, I walked out of the tall grass and into Professor Oak's lab to get my starter Pokemon. Well, it wouldn't really be my starter Pokemon, or it really wouldn't be my starter, since Ekans was my first Pokemon, but still. I walked into the lab to find my rival and the professor facing each other, as if they were having a conversation. As soon as I walked close enough to them, they both turned to me, exclamation points appearing above their heads. Oak ran over to me, and I was thinking that he would let me choose my starter, quote unquote, Pokemon now, but it seemed that wasn't going to happen after all. "You're late, Kelly," he said. "I'm sorry, but I didn't think you were coming, so I gave all 3 starters to my grandson. Sorry about that. Maybe if you release Toxic, I'll go catch a new starter for you. You don't want that silly old thing." I was given the options yes and no. This really isn't creepy. Hold up. Anthony, can you hear me now? Let me send a message to him real quick. Although he's probably playing on his GameCube, but fuck if I know. Check. Anthony, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, you still can't hear me. Fucking Christ. Oh yeah, he can't hear me because his mic volume is down or something. Hell if I know. I'm still right here, god damn it. You just can't hear me. What's the point of even telling him if you can't hear me? Let's do that again. I was then given the options yes and no. What in the world? I can't get a starter Pokemon unless I release my Ekans? I exclaimed out loud. Well, I certainly wasn't going to release Toxic now. What were the chances of me finding another Ekans again in Leaf Green? They were supposed to be exclusive to Fire Red. Besides, even though I had really wanted a Charmander, I personally liked Ekans a lot better than the Kanto starters. I selected no, and Professor Oak said in reply, "Well, if that's what you want." After obtaining my Pokédex and whatnot, I walked out of the lab. Yes, Anthony? Anthony, can you freaking hear me now? You hear me now? Maybe if I leave the party and whatnot and come back. Hello? Can you freak? I don't know. Alright, let's do that again. Yeah, that's him, everybody. Anthony, can you freaking hear me now? You hear me now? God damn it. Anthony, can you hear me? Anthony! Are you freaking kidding me? You can't hear me at all. Maybe if I disconnect the mic and back in. Why am I even trying to do this? Hello? Anthony! Mother freaking God. You know what? I'll deal with that later. How long have I been recording for? 16 freaking minutes? Yes, Anthony? Anthony, can you hear me now? You can't freaking hear me. Mother freaking God. Dude, let me just go on with this. I'll just ignore him for now. After obtaining my Pokédex and whatnot, I already read this, but I don't care. After obtaining my Pokédex and whatnot, I walked out of the lab and through the tall grass to Viridian City. I battled many trainers along the way, which I found unusual, as I was sure there weren't meant to be any trainers until Viridian Forest, and almost every time, Toxic could usually take out their Pokemon with just 1 or 2 hits. Once I got to Viridian City, I went into the Pokemart and was given Professor Oak's parcel to deliver to him. I quickly went back to Pallet Town, defeating any wild Pokemon along the way so that Toxic could level up. Delivered Oak's parcel, and finally got to Pewter City. Defeating Brock and earning their Boulder badge was a piece of cake with Toxic by my side, along with some help from my other Pokemon as well. I was also quite happy when Toxic evolved into an Arbok after defeating one of the Brock's Geodudes. As soon as I beat Brock, though, he said something that shocked me a little. "Are you sure you want to keep that Arbok of yours?" And after that I received my prize money. I felt a little uncomfortable now. First Oak had mentioned Toxic, and now Brock too. I tried to ignore these thoughts nagging me like a fly. After defeating Brock, I made my way to Mount Moon, and then into Cerulean City, where I could battle Misty and earn the Cascade badge. I wanted to level up my team a bit more before I challenged Misty, though, so I walked over to the Nugget Bridge and soon met my rival again. He challenged me to a battle, and just like always, I wiped out all of his Pokemon with Toxic. Hold up, let me check if Anthony can hear me now. Anthony, can you hear me now? Anthony? Can you hear me now? Yes. Can you hear me now? Mother of frickin'. Can you hear me now? Frickin' Christ. I'm I'm recording here, Anthony, so yeah. Yeah, I was recording and I was trying to tell you, but your mic volume was down or whatever. Mother of God. Reading a Pokemon Creepypasta, by the way. It's called Pokemon Poison Purple. Yeah, me neither. I just started reading it. How far am I into the video? I'm about 20 minutes in. It's gonna be a long one, I guess. Well, this is just really meant for the audio, not any video thing, so I'll probably just put this at 480p, so it won't be too much. Alright, I'm gonna go back to recording now. Well, finally, he was able to hear me. Jesus Christ. Alright, let me check here. Uh, After defeating Brock, he wanted to level up his Pokemon again, and he wiped out all of his Pokemon with Toxic. No, he met his rival again, and he wiped out all of his Pokemon with Toxic. It's pretty simple. Nothing creepy really happened yet, other than Oak and Brock saying Toxic, or mentioning Toxic and whatnot. After he had been defeated, he said something similar to what Oak and Brock had said. You caught an Arbok? So that's why I couldn't beat you. Hurry up and release that stupid thing. I was getting more and more freaked out all the time by all these changes to the game, and what everyone was saying about my Arbok. What was so bad about it? I sighed. Well, I guess there was nothing I could do about it. No matter what any of these NPCs said, I was going to keep my Toxic as part of my team for as long as I played Leaf Green. I continued walking on the Nugget Bridge, battling other trainers along the way. Each time I defeated them, they would always say something similar about my Arbok, just as the other NPCs had. They would say things like, Mommy always told me that Arbok are mean, or someday that Arbok won't listen to you anymore. It acts friendly right now, but just you wait. Of course, I didn't believe any of this. I just played through the game like nothing happened. But after defeating the last trainer on the Nugget Bridge, I started to think differently. After defeating the last trainer, text popped up saying, Arbok are often known to... But before the NPC could finish the sentence, the game froze. Confused, I turned it off and then turned it back on. Luckily, I had saved right next to the Nugget Bridge, so I hadn't lost much of my hard work. All I had to do was defeat my rival and other trainers again, and that couldn't be hard with Toxic by my side. But after pressing continue on the start menu, I had to cover my mouth to stop myself from screaming. The Nugget Bridge was broken in half, which made it impossible to cross, and there were tiny red pixels sprinkled all over it, which I guessed were drops of blood. Wow, what the brown? All of the NPCs, including my rival and the trainers on the other side of the broken Nugget Bridge, were lying down on their backs, with puddles of blood surrounding them. Everything looked absolutely ruined. This was surely far too violent to put in a children's game, wasn't it? ROM hack. I'm calling it right now still. Nonetheless, it still is weird. Before I could make my character walk anywhere, an Arbok sprite wriggled over to me slowly and a text box popped up saying, Hi trainer, are you ready to play? I was now utterly scared, and I wished I had listened to all those NPCs telling me to get rid of Toxic. Before I knew what happened, my GBA turned off. I was a bit scared to turn it back on, but I wanted to know what happened. It almost seemed as if I had fallen asleep after Toxic had said, Hi trainer, are you ready to play? But I knew I had been wide awake. I switched the power button back on, and was brought back to the start menu. I was unbelievably scared with what I saw next. The saved game was named Toxic's Game. I deleted the saved game, took the cartridge out of my GBA, stuck it in a cardboard box, and threw the box in the trash. I'm not sure how that game came into existence or what made it. A hacker looking for some laughs or something more sinister. I don't really want to know. To be honest, since then, I've stuck to other Pokemon games, and of course I've never caught another Ekans again. I know it's silly, but I'd rather not risk it. I have an awful feeling that Toxic will manage to find his way into another game if he has to. Well, apparently that's the last part of the thing. I have been recording for 24, almost 25 minutes. That was actually pretty good. That was a decent creepypasta. I mean, still, it seems like it would be a ROM hack, something my brother could actually make, but Hell if I know. That was actually not bad. There's more things like the living chandelier. I actually want to check how long this is. Although I don't like 4th and 5th gen. This was actually pretty short. Do I want to read this? I don't really want to. What is this? Community message has been updated. Oh, it's just wiki stuff. Apparently, there's Jane the Killer, the real story. I've been doing only like Pokemon and other random crap, but I could probably go on and read other stuff though, but I don't know. I might just record a little bit more creepypasta. I'm having more fun with this actually. Don't really understand why. Why I actually like reading since I freaking hate reading, but I guess when it's not a mandatory thing, mandatory, is that the right word? Well, when I'm forced to read, I don't really like to read, but when I decide I want to read, I guess I have a better feeling to it, if anyone gets that. But nonetheless, I will be as unprofessional I was last time, and not do the whatchamacallit. So, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this Pokemon creepypasta reading. Pokemon Poison Purple. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and goodbye.